take on the A team in this opening game of our tournament. Raiders are in black and Miners are in white. Miners starting in possession, trying to keep the ball moving it around, but there's a first turnover of possession as Raiders will now start moving the ball around and holding their possession, looking for an opportunity to attack. Turnover from Miners, and again they set up an opportunity. So a bit of toing and froing early in the game, trying to feel each other out and figure this out. Obviously a bit of intensity between the A and the B team from KZN. So it might take a bit of time to settle, but generally this should be a good game of hockey as the teams start to hold on to possession. Again, Miners in possession of the ball. KZN trying to manufacture the first scoring opportunity of the game, but Miners have defended it exceptionally well. Trying to hold on to possession. For those of you not used to indoor, indoor is an exceptionally fast game, played on a flat surface in indoor conditions obviously. The ball, apart from shooting opportunities, has to stay level with the surface. There's no three-dimensional skills to beat a player. You have to literally anti-skill a player and keep the ball moving on the flat surface, creating opportunities. Obviously the speed of the ball is a lot more than what you would expect in an outdoor facility. Miners trying to get into the opposition circle to score the goal. As you can see, this is a multi-purpose facility, lots of lines all over the court. We are concentrating on the white lines. The white lines are the designated hockey lines for this facility, and those are the lines that we're playing with. Each squad has 10 outfield players and 2 goalkeepers, and what you will notice in indoor is there'll be a lot of rotation of players fairly swiftly at short intervals. Because of the speed of the game, the coaches will try to keep the players fresh by rotating them fairly swiftly, and you'll see a lot of the positions and the players are very interchangeable in their skills and what they do on the field. The player's been told to leave the ball alone after a decision has been made, so they move off onto the next attack as Natal Raiders are now trying to press into the attacking circle. Miners doing very well to exit and get a 16-yard hit so that they can release the pressure and build up. Miners in the red socks and the white shirts are building up a bit of pressure here, holding on to the ball. As I say that, they turn it over on the top of the D, but Miners are doing very, very well in possession of the ball. And if anything, Raiders are looking like the team that are struggling a little in holding on to position. And as I mentioned earlier about the substitutes, fairly much a full team change on the Raiders side as the new squad comes in on the 5-minute mark to probably, I would guess, see out the rest of the chukker. and take it from there. Miners immediately getting an opportunity and getting goal scoring opportunity, and a great save from the Raiders keeper. Raiders managing to weather the pressure and get an exit from their defensive circle. And immediately Raiders counter-attack down the other end and earn themselves a short corner. In indoor, short corners are very swift and very quick. Watch the flickers on the top of the D. You'll see some really dynamic flicking, and you'll see different defensive strategies coming into play here. You might see the goalkeeper running first wave and shutting down the angles as much as he can because the reaction times are very limited. This is either going to go on the 45 to the Raiders number 6 or to the 10. What do I know about indoor hockey? I went straight to the top of the D to then player number 7. We have a reset and we go again. Ball is lifted up on the stop, and therefore the short corner is neutralized and Miners get to release. In the warm-up, these guys were flicking absolute bullets into the top corners, so obviously if they can control that stop, it's a great scoring opportunity of that short corner if they can get that right. Raiders again getting the turnover and being able to relieve some of the pressure, and I would guess they're just going to look at trying to hold on to the ball for a bit so that they can build up the pressure, because right now Miners have probably been a little bit better in possession of the ball, but when Raiders have had the opportunities, they've counter-attacked really well and created more goal scoring opportunities. So very, very balanced game at the moment. Still feeling each other out, trying to get the rhythm of the game, but both teams doing exceptionally well in controlling the ball, and then Raiders doing really well in the counter-attack when they get the opportunity. And a short corner for Miners as they counter-attack again. Again, looking after the ball exceptionally well, getting the opportunity just outside the D, getting the cross in, and the defensive block was lifted, resulting in a short corner. Again, 3 options on the top of the D, looking for the opportunities. The Raiders keepers earlier on were running out first wave, so let's see if they do that again in this scenario. Great opportunity there. Think off the post, but again, scores are still level, and again, shielding from the Raiders player as one of the Miners players gets a clip on the shoulder, but he looks okay, get up to carry on the game as we go. Indoor is a game that requires immense fitness. Outside temperatures are in the region of about 30 degrees in Johannesburg today. Both these teams have come up from the coast, so altitude will be an issue as well. So inside this hall, inside this facility, which is a great facility here at Beaulieu College, it's going to be really warm and really hot, and these teams that have come up from the coast are going to definitely feel the altitude as we get later into this game. But right now the pace of the game is really, really good, and the ball speed is good. And obviously fitness levels have to be at a really, really high level. Raiders again broken down just on the top of the D as Miners now counter-attack again, using the same exit as I did earlier, down the right-hand side, moving the ball, a big left-hand pass to the left-hand board, and a 45-degree back into the circle. They've used that a few times now, and it seems to be working quite well for them. High press there from Miners as the Raiders guys were trying to control the ball at the back, and that high press has resulted in a turnover and again an attack down to the free hit just outside the top of the D, as Raiders managed to defend that well and get the free hit out. As we enter the final 30 seconds of the chukka, there's no controlling of the scoreboard here. Miners are still trying to get in as they get into the D and or win themselves a short corner right towards the end of the chukka, the second short corner that they've had. Again, they're going to set themselves up with 3 options, and because of the time on the board, they might commit an extra attack, although it doesn't look like it in this case. They're going to keep someone back to defend the high-lying Miners player. Raiders player, apologies. Raiders have all 5 outfield players defending the short corner as they realize that this is a critical time in the quarter. And there we have our first goal of the 2025 IPT as Miners go 1-up against Raiders. A couple of the Raiders players are querying that decision, but yeah, it was a switch at the top of the D which resulted into slipping the ball into the corner of the goal as Miners take the lead as we tick down the final seconds towards the end of the chukka. You will hear a lot of ambient background noise in the facility. Obviously being in an indoor facility and watching the game of indoor, you get to hear a lot and see a lot of what the players are saying and doing. Right at the end of the first chukka, Miners managed to get the first goal, opening goal of the game. I must say, I don't think it's against the run of play. You wouldn't expect the B team to be up, but right now that's the situation. But they did have a really good first chukka, and immediately Raiders are more attacking in their approach and have, in the first 30 seconds of the chukka, you already created a goal scoring opportunity, and you'll probably see more urgency and from the Raiders side, and maybe even a bit of a higher press to not allow Miners as much time on the ball to exit their defensive half. Miners driving into the D, creating another goal-scoring opportunity and immediately getting another short corner. So Miners are applying the pressure here. Straight to the top D to the Miners number 15, who shoots straight down the middle into the keeper, getting a long corner and now being able to build up again. Raiders coming down, creating a goal scoring opportunity, playing the ball straight into the player, which enforces a bit of a danger, and therefore the Miners get the 16-yard hit out. Good defending again from Miners. In indoor, because the ball's got to stay flat, you cannot play through a defensive player. You have to go around the player, and if you play through the defensive player, it results in a free hit and often a temporary suspension in the form of a card as a result of danger created by playing through a player. So we will keep you up to date on that as we go through. That wasn't the case in that scenario, but often if you do play through a player, it does result in a card. The umpires took a lenient view on that and allowed the players to continue playing. You can see how quick the game of indoor is. Takes a free hit immediately and immediately gets a counter-attack going, driving into the D at speed, and unfortunately is flick going wide. But you can create a goal-scoring opportunity by just some quick thinking and quick movement, creates those opportunities that open up in indoor. KZN Raiders have the great opportunity here if they can get into the circle. Again, backing into a player, creating a free hit to the other side. Sorry, we seem to have little change. Apparently Miners are in black and Raiders are in white. Thank you for the correction. That was not the colors I had on my team sheet, but it's all good. We'll figure it out and go around. It understands why I had maybe one or two of the players' names that I realized were clearly incorrect. So thank you for the correction. We can go again. For clarity purposes, Miners are in black, Raiders are in white. Explains why I thought Miners were having a really good game. I'll have a beverage later as a fine. Typical hockey scenario, we'll sort that out. Thank you for the correction. Miners are now counter-attacking and win the free hit and going towards the top of the D to try to create an opportunity. Raiders win the defensive free hit. Good defending there by Miners as they now get the opportunity to exit. Obviously Miners have now been playing the counter-attacking game and Raiders controlling the ball. And you'll see Raiders here will, when the opportunity presents itself, go into a high press as they're doing now to put pressure on the Raiders players, the Miners players. As we approach a 5-minute mark, the Miners team preparing for a whole bunch of substitutes, and as they say that, they do score the goal to equalize. So we're back to an all-square game and all change on the field for the Miners team, and there's a number of substitutes coming on for the Raiders team to give fresh legs. Raiders under pressure at the back, looking for an exit, getting a bit of help from Phone a Friend as they start moving the ball out to get out. Miners pressing really, really high after that goal, and that the full bench substitution applying pressure to the Raiders players. Winning the long corner as a result of the press. Again, ladies and gentlemen, just remember we're playing the white lines on this multi-purpose facility, so this facility gets used for a number of other sports. We're focusing on the white lines for this particular tournament, obviously for the hockey facility. Miners holding the ball and then turning it over in a dangerous zone, creating an opportunity for Raiders to score, and they've taken that opportunity. Miners were holding the ball, exited straight down the middle, and that resulted in a turnover, an immediate opportunity to counter-attack and score from the Raiders number 12, who is Bhavesh Naika. Raiders 2-1 up. As I mentioned earlier, indoor hockey, one small error, one small mistake, and it creates a very quick opportunity to counter-attack and score a goal. And we saw that exact scenario unfold there, as Raiders again attacking really hard, trying to push for that 2-goal advantage now. They're 2-1 up, and Miners have now given away a short corner through third-party obstruction called by Peter Calder, and Raiders have the opportunity now to extend their lead, as we'll have a look and see the configuration that the Miners players will run. Again, all five outfield players are there behind the goals, going to run defense. And if the previous short corners are anything to go by, the goalkeeper is going to come out first wave and take the first ball on the top of the D. Exactly what's happened again, and that has forced the save from the goalkeeper, and the ball's gone wide, long corner awarded to Raiders. Miners trying to establish an exit, trying to look for an exit. Raiders holding position really, really well, which is making the exit quite difficult. This is a time where Miners have to be patient, because as we saw earlier on, they panicked a little bit, created opportunity, as we have here. Great save by the keeper, keeping them in the game. And a penalty stroke has been awarded with a yellow card. The Miners captain questioning that decision, but the decision has been given and the penalty stroke has been awarded, as Raiders are now preparing themselves for the stroke, and the Miners keeper is obviously going to do his best to make this as difficult as possible. Keegan Hazlitt has been nominated to take the stroke, and well experienced. As I say, that pushes it wide. Very, very unusual error, but we'll see how that unfolds, as Miners now are going to have to go into a blocking formation, as there are only 4 players on the field for the next 2 minutes. They're going to have to manage the situation and make sure that they don't make any errors here, to give Raiders an opportunity to strengthen their position in this time period when they're a player down. Miners actually attacking here. Good save by the keeper. Raiders now opportunity to counter-attack, which are using exceptionally well. Miners defending really well, but Miners now have to work really, really hard to maintain the scoreline while they're a player down. I must apologise, we don't have the best vantage point here, so I couldn't see what the card was for, but obviously a deliberate form of obstruction within the circle that created that prevention of a goal scoring opportunity. Absolutely great save there by the Miners keeper, diving across to his left-hand side, making a very difficult save in that far corner, which has created the opportunity for him to keep his team in it. Raiders player slightly injured in the scenario, but nothing serious, just a little knock, as the game can resume and carry on. We're down to the last 50 seconds of the chukker. Miners now really need to focus to keep this as a 2-1 game, so they can reset at half-time get the numerical advantage back in early in the second half and take it from there. As I say that, Miners players received a yellow card. Bhavesh Naika, the goal scorer from early on, has received a yellow card for pushing, which has now neutralized the Numbers game as far as the players on the field are concerned, and Miners can now manage the time coming into 40 seconds of the chukka and the half remaining. Naika's trying to get a goal scoring opportunity and see what they can do. Great save by the keeper, keeping Raiders in the game. Raiders now counter-attacking, looking for an opportunity to score while they go into the back end of the half. As I mentioned earlier on, indoor hockey is an exceptionally fast game, and end-to-end hockey, it's a great game to watch. And if you watch any of the World Cup, you would have seen that through that coverage earlier in the month. Managing the time as we go into halftime. As we start the second half, Raiders leading 2-1. Raiders in white playing left to right, and Miners in black playing right to left. Been a really, really entertaining first half. Some really good hockey, teams feeling each other out. Miners getting the opportunity to attack right in the beginning of the chukka, but Raiders generally finishing the chukka stronger. And attacking more towards the end of the chukka, missing a penalty stroke right towards the end. But Miners now starting to control the ball like they did earlier in the game and try use the opportunity. A bit of a miscommunication there, but cleaned up by the goalkeeper. An indoor goalkeeper is not there just there to save the goals, also there to play sweeper, and he did that very, very well. But as Raiders now counter-attacking, holding onto the ball, and going to build up and be patient and wait for the opportunity. The Raiders number 4 running straight into the Miners defender, and therefore that was a turnover. Miners now trying to exercise some patience to get an opportunity. Got the ball into the D, but the defense is very well structured and organized, and that results in a turnover and a swift counter-attack by Raiders. Good defending by Miners has caused the lifted ball in the D, which has resulted in the turnover. And that would have been a great ball had it worked, but unfortunately it didn't, and it's back in possession of Raiders. For those of you not familiar with indoor hockey or hockey in general, Raiders is the KZN A team and Miners are the KZN B team effectively. But as we can see with the scoreline after the first half, two very, very evenly matched teams, and great goalkeeping by the keeper. It has missed by a hair, but as a goalkeeper myself, that it counts as a save, and he's done exceptionally well to deflect that past his far post. In a situation where they had a really good opportunity to score the goal, the keeper's done just enough to keep it out from between the posts. Both teams are returned to their full complement, so the yellow cards have expired. They were there at the end of the first half, and both teams are back to 5 outfield players and building their structure. You saw the Raiders player there, as he got the ball in midfield, immediately get his head up and scan for his options, and he went for the far line, he went for the left-hand board to try pick up his fellow teammate. Unfortunately, the pass didn't work, but he did exceptionally well at scanning to look at the options that he had available to him. Raiders, again, very composed at the back, working very well at the back, but Miners inflicting a turnover, getting the foot on the top of the D, looking now for a counter-attack opportunity. But because that wasn't as quick as it should have been, that opportunity has closed, and now it's trying to rebuild up and manufacture a shooting opportunity somewhere within the D as they do enter the D, but good defending by Raiders. Really strong tackle there from the Miners number 9, but unfortunately the umpire thought there was a bit of a stick check involved in there, therefore they carried on. Raiders now get their opportunity. Defensively, the ball was lifted in the D, and that has resulted in a short corner. The Miners number 9 still questioning that umpiring decision in midfield with his hard tackle, but yeah, that was 10 seconds ago, and in indoor 10 seconds is a lifetime. Three shooting options on the top of the D. Probably going to go towards the middle. Very good save there by the keeper. Very good deflection from the postman. Lifted off target, but the umpire has adjudicated that as a long corner. both teams seem a little aggrieved. Miners complaining, Raiders complaining, but it is effectively a long corner, and we continue, and the Raiders will reset and see what opportunities they can initiate. Ball out deep at the back, resulting in a 16-yard hit. No damage to either team as a result of what they thought was an umpiring injustice. But again, this game is so quick and so swift that umpires are never ever going to see anything, and there's always going to be a different interpretation. With the break in play for the keeper just to sort out his helmet, Raiders do a full switch and bring on a new squad to have another go at the last 5 minutes of this, the third chukker of the first game of the tournament. Two Raiders players run into each other, creating an opportunity for Miners to counter-attack. The ball was not in the right spot where he took the free hit, so they're going to have to reset, start again. But again, Miners now have the opportunity to build, create an opportunity, manufacture an opportunity to hopefully get goal scoring opportunity, but not that time. When straight out in the corner, Raiders can build. Tournaments like this don't happen without our sponsors, and SPAR being our headline sponsor for this tournament. We'd like to thank SPAR for their engagement and their involvement in SA hockey and sponsoring a tournament like this, giving us an opportunity to have the best players in the country in one venue over 4 days to see the best of male and female hockey within the country, which is a great opportunity for us. Raiders still attacking and applying the pressure with 4 minutes to go in the third chukker of this first game. Doing really, really well. Still a 2-1 scoreline. Might be a bit surprising. Some might have thought it would be a bit more by now, but Miners are really giving a good account of themselves and obviously playing really, really, really well to make sure that they keep themselves in the game. The Miners number 7 deflects the ball onto his ear. Is obviously just stinging a little bit. He'll be fine. It won't be a massive problem. Just literally deflected the ball into his own ear right in front of us here in the commentary box. And he'll just, once he gets over the sting, he'll be okay. The umpires are asking for someone to come mop the floor, just to where the sweat is on the floor, just to reduce the option of slipperiness. Hopefully in this tournament we'll see the invention of a mop guy again, who does the regular job of keeping the court playable and active for everyone on the facility. The Raiders player looking for a free hit there after he played the ball out, but again it's going to the Miners. For those of you that didn't get the mop guy reference, when South Africa hosted the World Cup in January 2024, there was a gentleman who was running around mopping the court at all opportunities, and he became quite a hero in the event. Not sure who he was, but maybe we get the mention of that person again during this tournament. Miners players looking for an exit, and he's done exceptionally well in manufacturing that exit. He had 3 Raiders players around him and still managed to get himself out, but as you can see, Raiders pressing exceptionally high, turning the ball over in their half again, which automatically creates a counter-attack opportunity off the baseline, straight across. Keeper's done superbly. 2 absolutely phenomenal saves back-to-back by the Miners keeper, keeping them in the game, keeping it at a one goal difference. Tane Bird has done exceptionally well in saving twice on the floor and keeping his team in contention in this game. That was phenomenal goalkeeping and just an absolute image of how goalkeepers can keep you in the game. And immediately Miners concede a short corner. Raiders have another opportunity to have a shot on target. Tane did an exceptional job there, and obviously now preparing for the short corner threat in front of him. I would guess this is going to the Raiders number 10, Keegan Hazlitt. But they come in to mop the floor again where the goalkeeper had made those 2 back-to-back saves. Keegan and Tane having a little conversation before turning into opponents again, but having a little smile and banter, obviously about the saves that he's just pulled off, and I don't know, maybe if he's brave, telling him how he's going to save the short corner. Didn't even go to Keegan, went across to the number 12 from Raiders, which is Bhavesh Naika, and scoring a goal early on, he just pulled this one a little bit wide. But again, great goal scoring opportunity, and the scoreline remains at 2-1. Miners players thinking that ball was up off the stick, but the umpires have adjudicated that it was fine, and Miners now doing a half-court press, holding the pressure, waiting for Raiders to create an opportunity to turn the ball over, which they now have. Unfortunately, the ball's a bit too far off his stick, and it's resulted in a turnover straight back to Raiders. I'm assuming I've got Raiders and Miners sorted out after my earlier mishap in the first chucker. Raiders are in white, Miners are in black. Raiders pressing exceptionally high and forcing the pressure on the ball, and that results in the turnover in the attacking half. All 5 Miners players behind the ball, holding structure, not giving the Raiders guys many opportunities to have a look. And as a result, winning the free hit so that they can now manufacture their own exit. What you might see here, if we see the repeat of previous scenarios, is the second that their ball's not a clean pass, you'll see the Raiders players pressing high up on the player, like they're starting to do now, to put pressure on the ball, which results in exactly that, a turnover. Raiders player dropped that into his foot, and yeah, that was going to result in a green card for the Raiders number 8, Govender. Didn't retreat far enough, and Miners almost immediately make them pay with a shot on target right at the end of the chucker, which would have leveled it up, and that would have made the last chucker really interesting. But as we go into the break, the score is 2-1. Trying really hard to create those opportunities, great goal scoring opportunity. Great save by the keeper, keeping that one out and keeping his team on that 2-1 lead. And has now resulted in a short corner. So Miners starting this chucker with a lot of pressure, high press, trying to make sure that the Raiders guys don't have it all their own way. All 5 Raiders players head towards the back of the goal, putting on their protective equipment, gloves, face masks, and whatever other protection they might deem necessary as they prepare to face a short corner from Miners. Again, we're going to have someone mop the floor quickly for us to just clear off the sweat of the turf to reduce the risk of slipping. And as you've seen in the earlier part of this broadcast, this part of the game is exceptionally quick and no time to react. You've got to be in the right position, cut down your angles. Keeper's done it again and run the suicide line, as we call it, and done exceptionally well with creating that opportunity. Again, shot straight at the keeper from Miners, but they're still within that D, still looking for an opportunity. 3 Raiders players around the ball and managing to enforce a turnover, counter-attack, and immediately Raiders have their counter-attack. Keepers come out and made a great save on the top of the D. Still Raiders in possession, and Miners have managed to weather their storm as best as possible. Got Raiders to pull the ball back out to the top of the half and reset themselves with a scoring opportunity. Here comes the number 15 with that opportunity. Keeper has done superbly again, and Tane Bird is having an absolutely great game there in the box, keeping his team in it, keeping his team with the opportunity of keeping that 2-1 scoreline and hopefully creating opportunity later in the game to equalise and potentially even win the game. So Tane has really made some great saves today. Raiders building up again now in possession of the ball. Miners are pressing quite high this time, trying to infect the turnover. Raiders have beaten the press, and that obviously results in another goal scoring opportunity, and again just wide, deflected wide by the defence. Long corner for Raiders, but Miners are throwing everything at this at the moment, trying to effectively create opportunities to try and get back into this game, and Raiders have counter-attacked very well in this chucker. Miners with the press have effected a turnover, used his shoulder to clear out the defender, and that has resulted obviously in a 16-yard hit, relieving the pressure. But Raiders had a very good counter-attack opportunity there, unfortunately just using his shoulder to try create some space for himself, and the umpires were well up to it and spotted that and blew the advantage towards Miners. And Miners again getting the free hit in the middle of the field, looking for an opportunity, gets into the D, creates a goal scoring opportunity. Good angles by the goalkeeper, keeping that out and managing to deflect the ball out, creating a long corner. Umpire's not quite happy with the positioning and wants the ball pulled a bit across. Another free hit towards Miners as their captain comes back on the field to step up and try and create some form of opportunity as we head into the last 6 minutes of this game. Pulled across the face of the D, no one there to pick up the deflection, and Raiders now pick up the position of the ball and now looking to create an opportunity. But again, some composed heads there. Instead of bringing forward and potentially turning over the ball, let's move back, hold the possession. They are a goal up and they're trying to maintain that advantage that they have. Ball is turned over from Raiders to Miners, and again from Miners to Raiders, as Raiders now attacking, looking for an opportunity, and that's a man open in the middle of the goal box. Goalkeeper has very, very little opportunity to do anything. The second that space is created, it's going to result in a goal, and Raiders have got that 3-1 scoreline that they were looking for, hopefully to give them a little bit of breathing space as we go into the last 5 minutes of the chucker of the game. Again, the Raiders' high press is causing the Miners' defense a bit of a headache. They don't have the time on the ball that they need to build an attack, and that results in these turnovers that Raiders are using very, very well at the moment to counter-attack and get goal-scoring opportunities. Raiders have a free hit just outside the D, looking for another goal to fairly much secure the game. 2 goals in indoor hockey is not enough. As we've seen earlier in this game, the turnovers happen exceptionally quickly and the ball moves one end to the other within a couple of seconds. With 4.5 minutes left in the game, this is still anybody's game, and a goal by Miners creates a lot of anxiety in the Raiders team, so they're going to have to stay focused, stay composed as they start building up towards this. Miners now on the attack in their half, in their attacking half, looking for an opportunity in the D to create a goal-scoring chance. Raiders get the turnover, and again, counter-attack, but pull the ball back. You can see now a bit of a calmness amongst the Raiders guys. They know if they control the ball, they reduce the risk, but then they turn over the ball, and Miners turn over the ball almost immediately. But you got to be very careful when you're in your own half not to turn over the ball as Raiders did there, because it does expose your defensive line quite quickly if that turnover is used correctly. Great work there by Raiders again as the guy on the baseline receives the ball. The number 9 receives the ball, and instead of looking for the shot which the goalkeeper was anticipating, he pulled it back across the goal. And Govender got a green card earlier on, has given Raiders their 4th goal, and fairly much with 3 minutes to go has now made this game difficult for Miners to get back into. Not impossible, but it has made their job a little more difficult if they want to get a draw or a win out of this game. Raiders pressing very high on the ball, putting a lot of pressure on the players, and that it almost resulted in a turnover on the top D, which would have created a problem. Miners have pulled their goalkeeper off the court now, so get an extra outfield player onto the court to try create more goal-scoring opportunities. But obviously it does expose them in a scenario if they do turn the ball over. There's a high risk that they might concede, so they need to make sure that they're playing this game down in their attacking half right now with 6 outfield players. Effectively a player advantage on the outfield, but no goalkeeper in the box, and that has resulted in a short corner for Miners. They score this goal now, and the game's back on. I don't even see the Miners goalkeeper on the Miners goalkeeper is on his bench. Sorry, I thought we lost the Miners goalkeeper, but he is there. Short corner didn't go according to plan. Rolled over the top of the ball as he was trying to shoot, but it was into the defender's foot, and it has created another opportunity for a short corner. Raiders all 6 players, including the goalkeeper, behind the ball. Deflection at the near post has just gone wide, just missed, but it has come off a Raiders stick, so it is a long corner for Miners. 1 minute 45 left in the game. Scores currently at 4-1. If Miners are going to come back into this game, they need to score 2 goals relatively quickly and then apply pressure. But it does look like the result is over, but Miners are not giving up. They're still attacking with everything that they've got with their 6 players on the field. And they've won themselves another short corner. So Miners really working exceptionally hard to try to keep themselves in this and get themselves back into this game. 3 options at the top of the D for the short corner to see where they go on this. Raiders goalkeeper asking for the court to be swept, but umpire Calder reckons it's all good, and we're good to go with 1 minute 25 left in the chukka. Bit of movement backwards and forwards, trying to manufacture a flicking opportunity, and it has gone into a Miners' foot. And now Raiders have the possession of the ball and the opportunity to run down the clock and hold on to the possession of the ball with a 4-1 scoreline. Nearly turned over there at the top of the D by by Miners, and that has created that opportunity. No, it hasn't. Raiders have broken it down, and they're back in possession of the ball. Raiders moving the ball around really nicely. The ball does come into the D with the open goal box, and they have now got that 5-1 score line without the goalkeeper in the box. The second you're in the D and you have a shooting opportunity, it gives you the chance to just roll the ball into the back of the box. And the Raiders number 11, Daniel Fries, has done exactly that and created that opportunity. Miners come back down the other end and immediately get one back for a 5-2 score line. But with 17 seconds left on the clock, that's too little too late. But that was an absolute superb finish into the far corner. The Raiders keeper has been difficult to beat all day, and there was a really, really good finish to get the second goal for Miners and help their overall goal difference come later in the tournament. Really good first game of the tournament, and the two KZN sides have put up a display, and yeah, absolute awesome game of hockey, and we're looking forward to a great tournament over the next 4 days. Thank you.
Welcome to everyone who's just joining us for this IPT that's happening at Beaulieu College in Joburg. We have the Western Province Pens ladies coming against the Northern Gauteng Blues. The captains have just completed the toss. I'm sure both teams are eagerly awaiting the start of their IPT here and looking for a result. And we're all in for a very exciting